The three elements that I consider to be essential in a virtual learning environment include unit overview sections or web pages, a way to present the flow of unit activities, discussion, a way for students to express themselves and share their thoughts about the unit concepts with each other as well as with the teacher, and assignments, a way for students to indicate that they have some level of understanding of the unit concepts. If I was forced to choose only one feature to include in a virtual learning environment to the exclusion of all the others, it would be discussion. It's so important that students are given opportunities to strengthen their voice by sharing their thoughts with others. Some research suggests that in a face-to-face setting, it's more likely that a minority of students will tend to dominate the classroom discussion, whereas in virtual discussion, more students tend to be willing to express their thoughts. To add a discussion board using the designer tools in Blackboard, first click on the plus sign. Scroll down to Tool Link. Click on it, add a name, and then select a type from the drop-down menu. There's several to choose from, and we want to select discussion board. I've already created one, but I want to go through this process so that if you don't have one created already, you know how to do it. And hit submit. Select the discussion that you created. And now we have a discussion board, but we need to create some forums to be included on the discussion board. Select Create Forum. Okay, and now we have options. Enter a name. And I've already used test form, and I want to use that again. Enter a description. Scroll down. And there's some options regarding forum availability. Yes, we definitely want it to be available to the students. We want it to display after a certain date, and today's date at 11:59 p.m. is just fine. And then I want it to display for about 3 weeks. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 and enter it about the 22nd at 11:59 p.m. Standard view is selected, and that's fine with me. Another option is participants must create a thread in order to view the other threads in this form. I can see where that would be useful from time to time, but for this particular form setting, I want to keep it at standard. Let's scroll down and look at some of the grading options. I do want a grade to be associated with the discussion forum. I'm going to set my possible points at 10. And I'm going to look at this notice from the learning management system. It says this type of form requires a specific set of options that have already been automatically enabled. So instead of referring to thread alignments, it's been changed to form alignments. And that's exactly what I want. I'm not interested in grading individual threads. I'm interested in grading students' performance throughout a discussion forum. The next option says show participants in need of grading after one post. Because this form will be active for 3 weeks, one is definitely not enough. Probably after 4 or 5 postings, I would want to look at what the students are saying and begin to grade it. Select a due date, Again, they should be done with their posting by about the 22nd. I always include a due date because it's automatically included in the learning management system calendar. And this is a useful tool for the students to help them to manage their priorities and manage their tasks. It's a reminder and it's there in their calendar at all times. And the calendar generally shows assignments and tasks in all of their classes. So it just helps them with their time management. I do want to add a rubric. I have one rubric already prepared, and I'm going to move this screen down a little so it's included. The one rubric prepared is on discussion, and I'm going to select that. And then hit the submit button. Okay, when I return to this page, it has an option here that refers to showing the rubric to the students. It's selected as no now, and I definitely want to change that to yes if it will allow me to. Might have to page down on that one. Okay, back up. Oh, I just love it when it's real sensitive. And hit select. And now we can see, yes, the students can see the rubric at all times without the rubric scores. And I'm a big proponent of that because it allows the students to see what the expectations are, what the standards are as far as the quality of posts. It's not just about making a post, it's about making a quality post. Okay, I want to continue down on some of the other options. Let's look at the subscription options. We definitely want the students to be able to subscribe to the form because it is a graded form. I selected include links to the posts in the form as opposed to including the whole body of the post because this will encourage the students to return to the learning management system probably sooner rather than later, as would have been their plan. I want to scroll down to some of the options regarding creating and editing. I don't want to do anything with allowing authors to delete or to modify posts once they've been published. Because this is asynchronous communication, we want things to be fairly consistent. We don't want people to enter in at one time and see a post looking one way or a post that was there is no longer available. Students tend to get confused by that, and it's just easier if you don't allow that option at all. As we continue, I do want to allow members to create new threads. I want to allow file attachments because many times it's helpful for students to include additional information such as a research paper or include an image or include a video file that supports their position on the topic. And that is very important in discussion, and it's included in my rubric. Okay, allowing users to reply with a quote. I'm not exactly sure what that's referring to. I won't know until I experience it a little more with the students. It might be referring to quoting a previous posted statement, or it might be, I don't think it's referring to quoting from another source because that would be something that is just allowed in a normal posting. But I'm going to leave that selected just to kind of experience it and see what it's all about. I don't want to do anything with post tagging. That in some cases facilitates searches, but in this case I'm going to leave it alone. I do want to allow members to rate posts, and I want to do this as another form of peer evaluation. It will allow students to see what their peers think about the quality of their posts so that there's, again, it's not so much of a surprise if your evaluation shows that this was not an above average post or a superior post. There are differences in quality of posts. Okay, scroll down, hit submit. And if we scroll down, we can see the test form has been created here. I want to click on it. and it's empty. It has no items found. So the form itself is just a way to categorize or organize topics that are related. In this case, I want to go ahead and add or create a thread. Again, we've seen similar questions referring to just setting up the form, so we can just add quickly. At this point, the subject is test thread. Want to enter a description. This is only a test. Scroll down to see more options. Again, attachments can be included. You can either browse for them in the content that's stored in files within the learning management system or files that are stored on your computer, and you can browse for that. Let's just continue down here and select submit. And now we see that there is a test thread within the test forum. I want to select it. And there it is. And it becomes available for students to reply to.